welcome to the next edition, or next episode, I should say, of Spilling the Tea in Studio D. Again, the road show continues.
I like
We
the road
are
show.
at one of my favorite places, honestly, is Mid-America Science Museum. I can remember, we'll get to this in a minute, when you actually opened, but as a kid doing couple of field trip type things out here. So
Yeah, and you're old too.
yeah, so I'm talking about like probably the year it opened. I was here.
1979.
Oh, yeah.
1979.
See, I was born in 74. I was sitting
Yeah.
here thinking this morning, I was like, gosh, I'm about to be 50. And I remember as a kid coming to Mid-America and all the cool stuff.
I haven't been here
loved.
quite that long.
Yeah.
But, from about 1986 on, I was
So-
here a lot.
Yeah, I think 79 was like sixth grade for me. I think that's right. So that would have been about the time. So how about you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Casey Chandler. I'm the Director of Educational Development here at Mid-America Science Museum, and kind of feel like I'm an exhibit too, because I've been here in one way or the other
Right.
forever.
Right. So how long have you been here, Casey?
Well, that's a complicated question. I came a lot as a child with my parents, obviously, and then I started volunteering here the summer that I turned 13.
Wow.
So I'm really passionate about our volunteer program, which I'm now in charge of. So really excited about that. And then this was my first job graduating out of college.
Oh,
I was
wow.
a volunteer coordinator, worked here for about 7 years. Then took a break to go get my master's and go work in teaching, because I thought, I can just bring museum education to the classroom.
Right.
No, we can't. But we're going to talk about how I'm trying to still. But I worked at Hot Springs School District for 4 years, and then I've been back here for about 5 years now.
Awesome.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a volunteer program. That's really cool. Kids, I guess kids can get community service hours.
Absolutely, yeah. It's called our Team Tesla program. We try and make it a multi-year experience, so they can start volunteering as early as 14, and then once they go through a couple of years, then we hire up our summer staff to be like the 17-year-olds that have been with us for a little while.
Okay.
It's a really great program.
So is Hot Springs home for you?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. All right. Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Okay. So did you attend Hot Springs Public Schools? Or?
I went to Lake Hamilton, yes.
Okay. All right. A wolf. All right.
Yeah, and then I didn't even get far when I was teaching. I was in the Hot Springs School District. So
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
get far from Gallon
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's
Love
good.
it.
Well, you talk about summer. And that's an important time for you all. I know you got a lot of summer camps going
big time.
on. So talk a
Absolutely.
little bit about those.
So our summer camps are really exciting. We do about 7 weeks of summer camps, and we do 2 different age groups. We do age 6 to 9, and then another group that is 10 to 12. Each week is a different subject, and we're really trying to make sure that we're bringing in all the good science content, also
Right.
trying to do a lot of cross-curricular stuff, really helping support that ELA as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, because we're really trying to focus on the scientific process.
Sure.
Science isn't just making something bubble and fizz and say it looks cool.
Right.
It's writing it down. That's the
Right.
science part of it for sure.
Right.
It's not just like school. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So we
Yeah.
have a space camp. We have a science meets art camp. We have, of course, the classics, Minecraft in real life and Harry Potter camp. Oh, Minecraft camp's already
Yeah.
almost full.
It's already
Oh,
full.
yeah.
It's a big week.
Yeah.
It's a real
Yeah.
big week. We have outdoor camps. We have engineering and inventors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of different stuff. And I like that our rooms are multi-age. So we have, like I said, 6 to 9 and then 10 to 12, so that they're getting that interaction with multiple age levels
Right.
and age groups.
Sure.
That's so cool.
And obviously, the spring into summer is probably, I would imagine, a very popular field trip time for you
It
guys.
is high field trip season right now. We have on average about 300 to 500 students a day.
Wow.
That's one of the things that actually we're trying to help teachers realize is, yes, we are a fantastic end of the year. Yay, testing
Right.
is over. Let's celebrate field trip for sure. But this is a really great opportunity for really supporting your content throughout the year. So as much as possible, I'm trying to encourage teachers, don't just come at the end of April when
Right.
there are 500 kids here. Come in October or come on a Tuesday when your students can really get the most out of their experience. We'll have, I think this week, every day this week we have at least 5 field trips, up to 7 or 8. So it's a crazy day and it's a lot of fun, but
Right.
you're really missing out on some good quality content when they're
Right.
just running around like crazy people.
Right. And I think you guys, I mean, 100 plus exhibits probably at any
over,
given
yeah.
time. Yeah. So, I mean, and I also know you guys have certain times of the year, like themed typed exhibits?
Absolutely, yeah. This summer, we're really excited. At Memorial Day, we're going to be opening up Hall of Heroes.
Oh,
which
wow.
is all about superheroes.
Okay.
The nerd boys in my house are real excited about that, counting down.
Yeah.
That's going to be really, really spectacular. And we'll have that pretty much roughly Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Okay.
And every summer, we try and have a big blockbuster exhibit like that.
That's awesome. So of the mainstays, the ones that are here in place every day, what's probably the most popular one, you think? Hard to tell.
No, it's easy to tell. The most popular one is absolutely the cave.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Without doubt, the cave.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes.
I had to go in there once to get my niece.
Oh, good
Yeah.
Lord,
Who
I'm
was
sorry.
little, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a lot. We do love the cave. We've had it around. Actually, the very first year that I started volunteering here at 13, that was the summer we got the cave.
Gotcha.
And my job was I had a little mining helmet on and I took tours
Yeah.
of the cave.
So walk us through that experience. I mean, we talk about the cave.
So right now, really the experience is that they get to go and be like they're in a cave in Arkansas. And if you take the time to go through it slowly, it's actually really great.
Sure.
There's a lava magma chamber room.
Oh, wow.
There's little fossils embedded in the walls, but it's also a McDonald's play place in the dark.
Gotcha.
So they get real excited about that.
Yeah.
But we are also trying to always improve. We're looking into maybe some funding or some sponsorship or grant opportunities to revamp it, to make it a little more ADA accessible,
Gotcha.
make it a little more appropriate for multiple body types, shall we say, and ages, a little more grown-up friendly as well. No timeline on that, of course, right now, because that's a really big, expensive thing. But one thing I really love about our museum and that I think sets us apart and makes us special is we are a museum that focuses on the physical sciences.
Right.
So we're not a nature center. We're not a zoo. We don't have animals.
Right.
We really focus on the physical sciences, which to me as a science teacher, that was the hardest thing to teach.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's the science of literally everything, the science of motion, the science of matter, the science of chemistry, it is the science of everyday life.
Yeah.
But it's also really hard to translate if the kids don't have those real world experiences.
Right.
So that's why I really encourage teachers to come out here, because we have all these great phenomenon-based exhibits.
I can imagine a lot of aha moments going on.
So many,
Yeah.
absolutely, especially when, one of our educators is there or one of our great teachers or chaperones is there to go, hey, check this out. This is like what we were talking about the other day. Or a lot of our exhibits connect with each other. You'll see Bernoulli's principles and vortices in several different exhibits. So helping them make that connection.
Yeah.
One thing I've done to help make that a little easier for teachers, and that Kayla, our Director of Education, has done as well, is if you go on our website on the Field Trips tab, there is a link to all the NGSS standards.
Oh, wow.
Connected to
Great.
every single gallery and exhibit.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's good to have.
In a wonderful little printable page.
Yeah, so you knocked that out in, 10 minutes probably.
Oh, yeah.
So do you have a favorite exhibit out here?
I do, and actually it's one that's right next to us. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's called Invisible Glass.
Right.
It's one of our smaller exhibits, but it gets a lot of attention because it talks about polarization filters.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's literally a stained glass window made out of tape.
Oh, wow.
And we have a wheel in front of it that has a polarized filter in it, and when you spin it and the polarized filter changes directions, you get a rainbow effect on the tape.
Oh, wow. Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Who
yeah,
figured
invisible
that?
stained glass.
Yeah,
Really, really
okay.
cool.
That is pretty cool.
That's why I like it, is it's those simple everyday phenomena that you don't realize.
Right.
And then if it's a really busy day and we don't have, a whole lot of leaves like I'm looking at now, if it's more like in the fall, you can stand behind it and look at the polarized filters and look at the windshields of the cars in the parking lot, and they'll change color as well.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
I can imagine, with all that there is to do here, a couple of things. First of all, if somebody's going to come and really make the best of this visit, what kind of timeline would you suggest to block out to spend here?
At least a couple of hours.
Okay.
Absolutely. That gives the kids a really good time to slow down, do everything, and that also gives you time if you want to add on a little extra something.
Gotcha.
We have our Tesla show, which is all about Nikola Tesla, the science of electricity, a lot about inventors and innovation. We have our Digital Dome Planetarium, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We also offer workshops as well for different grade levels that hit on especially those engineering standards.
Right.
Like this week for for some reason, it's just funny that we have patterns. This week, the Three Little Pigs workshop for kindergartners and pre-K has been super busy. This whole month, actually, I've done that one a lot.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to herd a bunch of pre-K kindergarten kids around here.
No.
I mean,
there's not a lot of herding involved. They just go.
That's right.
But yeah, they'll come down in the classroom. We read the Three Little Pigs story, and then they engineer the straw house and the stick house and then the brick house, and they have a great time. And it's like a extra 15, 20 minutes, get them to slow down for a second.
So as far as staying relevant, with the exhibits or what have you, I mean, what kind of process do you guys go through with that?
Ooh, that's a really great question, because a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't change much, does it? Which actually it has. It changed a huge amount in 2015. And honestly, before then, it really looked about the same in 2010 as it did in 1990.
Right, yeah.
Because it's really difficult to keep up with the time in a museum because it's expensive. Expensive, hard to build. So we try and do it in several ways. One thing we do is in our tinkering studio. So that's an area that we can change up quite a bit. It's like our maker space.
Right.
We try and have different experiences in there once a month.
Right.
We also try and find really good traveling exhibits to come during the summer or during spring break time. We even create some of our own exhibits as well.
Yeah.
As much as we can.
Sure.
But the other nice thing is, since we are really focused on that core physical sciences, it's not something that gets revolutionized too much.
Sure.
Which is good.
Yeah. I remember the one where you. It's like trying to remember what kid, but you push the bubbles.
Oh, yeah.
That one has been taken out.
I do miss that
upstairs,
one. And pushed up bubbles through the silicone.
Yes. But we came when I brought my nieces. I guess this past summer or whatever, that you have the one that it shocks you.
Oh, yeah.
We had a good time with that.
I refuse to do
that. It's a little scary, I'm not going to lie.
It can be. It's not going to shock you too bad, but if you're not expecting it, it'll get you.
It'll get you.
It'll zap you. Yeah.
We also try and stay relevant by having different special events. So, like, we took the opportunity during the solar eclipse. We obviously had a big day, but then we also had a visiting scientist who works with NASA on the Hubble telescope. Her hometown was in Mountain Home, Arkansas. And we reached out to her and said, hey, you come, and she gave a great presentation to over 200 high school students in the area.
Awesome.
Wow.
So that's one of the ways that we try and keep up with the times, is really what special things can we bring in outside of just the bare bones of the museum.
Yeah.
Right. And then as far as, like you say, it can get expensive. So as far as the funding mechanism.
We are really unique, actually, in that one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is most museums are funded by an outside source, either by a foundation or they're city-run, county-run, state-run, that kind of thing. We are not. We are 90% funded by our admissions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The rest of it is, some of our very wonderful benefactors. We do get some support from, Hot Springs and the county, but a very small amount. Like I said, 90% is what we bring in just from our guests, which is quite phenomenal that we're able to do that. That is exceedingly rare, and one reason why we were all so proud of how we did during COVID.
Right.
We were
Yeah.
frankly terrified.
Right.
Sure.
Like, oh God, what are we going to do?
Right.
But the community really, really rallied around us and helped us stay afloat and showed so much support. And that's why it's also important that we want to support our community as much as possible as well. As they're what keep our doors open. So we want to make sure we are serving who needs to be served.
Right.
We work together, like with Delta Dental, for example. They have a fantastic event called Toothapalooza.
Oh, wow.
If you haven't been to it, it's really interesting. It's a love-hate day for me because I really am freaked out by teeth. It's the only thing I don't do.
I don't like teeth either.
I don't do teeth, but I do love Toothapalooza. And so they sponsor a whole day where anyone who comes in and they have the opportunity to get a free dental exam. We have activities all about dental health. There is either free or reduced admission price that day. And we really try and market to the areas that wouldn't normally get to come or the families that wouldn't normally get to come. And we try and do those as much as possible. I do believe, I don't know if we've settled on the final date on that one, but I think it's going to be in September. We're trying to find that nice sweet spot between when they're in school and they can learn about it.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, and I can only imagine, I read over the weekend that Hot Springs, Arkansas is actually the number 2 most visited waterfront state in the entire country.
We are very proud of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, behind like Florida, obviously, Alabama area.
Yeah.
But so we do get. I mean, tourism is huge around here. We
Absolutely.
get that. So, but you guys are just a smidge off the beaten path. But I would expect it doesn't really slow you down any.
Not really. No, we've discovered through lots of different research that the city of Hot Springs has done and the Visitation Commission. We're usually what they call a day 2.
Mm-hmm.
So they might come for the waters or Oaklawn or downtown, but they make sure they come to us, and we definitely see it. What really amazes me, though, is the field trips that come from far away and how far. On average, we will have, a fair amount from Garland County and Pulaski County and Saline County, but then at least, a couple of times a week we'll have Texarkana.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas. These are school field trips that have been on a bus for over 3 hours.
Wow.
To come here, have an experience, and then go home.
Yeah.
It just amazes me.
Yeah.
Not a better place to be in the middle of July with the family than indoors.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And for
sure.
these kids, there's not a better place to go either from Nevada County. Where are they going to go? They come here. They come here. So that's another reason why we're really wanting to find out how we can expand our outreach program and our outreach offerings, because I would much rather me being in the car for 3 hours and go to them and let them have that experience.
Right, exactly.
I was going to ask that if you guys go into the school.
We do, but not nearly as much as I would like to yet. It's that delicate balance of the schools that we really want to visit aren't the schools that can purchase.
Yes.
Right.
So how do we find that funding? How do we
Sure.
find that delicate balance? What does that look like? And also, how do we let them know?
Oh, yeah.
So we're really trying to help teachers and principals and administrators know what some of those opportunities are, and that we really want to work with you.
Right. So dinosaurs are always big. I know y'all do. That's the gift that keeps on giving. Seems to be.
You want to know my dirty secret?
Yeah.
I work at a science museum and I hate dinosaurs. They're so boring.
Yeah, right.
I'm a terrible person. I don't like dinosaurs.
No.
But I love our dinosaurs. They're adorable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said,
kids love dinosaurs.
Kids love dinosaurs.
Kids love dinosaurs,
it's like
right.
imprinted on their brains.
They do.
Yeah.
They love them.
I love the little 3-year-olds that come in, and we have a very large pteranodon that's hanging. When you first come in, they go, "Pteranodon!" I'm like, how do you know that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're so excited.
Yeah. So how did you? I mean, is this something like when you were growing up, you had the desire to be some type of science person?
Actually, I always knew I wanted to work in the nonprofit section, and I always knew I wanted to work at a museum. I have family that works at. It was the Pink Palace Museum then. Now it's the Museum of Science and History in Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
I was raised around it and really knew that this was what I wanted to do for sure. It was my passion.
Right. So you stepped out for just a little bit and
decided. I needed a break. I don't want to,
Sure.
I needed to get my master's degree.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I needed to advance in my career a little. And I was like, you really can't have this attitude of, well, I know how to do this if you haven't done it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I've been on the front lines. I taught
Good to
fifth
have that
grade
experience.
Yeah, fifth grade science. I had 150 students a year. I had 6 classes.
Yeah.
So I've done it.
Yeah, you dove right off into the deep end.
Oh boy, did I! And I did the MAT program. So, I didn't even have my water wings for that one. But it was an amazing experience, and I learned so much.
Yeah.
And what I really learned was humbling.
Oh, yeah.
What I really learned was not what I can do. What I learned was what I can't do.
Right.
And what is holding our science teachers back.
Sure. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
But that's just as important.
Absolutely. There is no lack of passion, of drive, of ability in our science teachers.
Right.
The only thing holding them back is time, regulations, supplies.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes just knowing that they can.
Sure.
What's become kind of my passion project was, as a 5th grade teacher, I had them one of the first years that they got to branch off into having specific teachers by subject.
Right.
I think now at the school I was at, they're doing it younger. But at that time, that was one of the first times they were doing it.
Gotcha.
And I got to interact with a lot of elementary school teachers here that are having to teach all the subjects. And that's what I hear time and time and time again is either I don't have time to teach science because I'm teaching math and literacy, or I don't know how to teach science.
Right.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's very scary, and it shouldn't be. There's nothing scary about science, but if you have that mindset of I'm just not a science person, I can't teach it.
I think with science you can make it so fun just because you can do so many hands-on things.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of mistakes, but again, lots of learning.
That's what they learn, though.
Yeah, lots of learning opportunities. I agree.
Yeah, and giving them the opportunity to make mistakes and to make a mess, and that it's okay. So that's kind of where my focus has been the past couple of years, is really trying to work with our lower elementary and also pre-K. I've been getting really big into the world of pre-K. We have a Scientots preschool program here that we've now developed into an outreach program. So I am doing that one a lot, going into the classrooms and really helping our pre-K teachers realize that pre-literacy skills and pre-science skills are exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all observation and predictions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's just how you spin it and using those words. That's the most important thing, especially for our elementary as well, is using those words.
Yeah, I think that discovery piece is such a big part of everybody's life, you know, and in my opinion, I don't think you can get started too early to do that.
No, and every child is born a scientist.
That's right.
Every person is born a scientist, and we're all doing science experiments all day, every day. We just don't realize it because we don't use that language.
Yeah.
But if you take away that scary barrier, then you realize that you're teaching science in all of your content. It all connects. You're doing it all the time. But now we need to start doing it in a way that the students realize that as well, and they have the confidence.
Yeah, I think you could talk to Candace's family every time she cooks. It's an experiment, no doubt.
Fantastic.
Definitely. We had that conversation this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't cook that often.
Yeah, so
I did make scrambled eggs yesterday.
Hey, that's chemistry.
Wow. Man, way to go there, Chef Boy RD. Yeah.
But hey, Scott was watching the History Channel the other day, and it was something about inventions and inventors, and I was like, I wish I had that mind. Like, I mean, I guess like you say, we all kind of do, but it's pretty cool the things that we get to experience because people invented it and said, oh, wouldn't it be cool if, and, hey, I'm going to create this or whatever.
So how many more inventions would we have if there weren't children out there going, oh, I can't do that?
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, just going into pre-K and even just to pique that interest or whatever.
Oh, my God. The things that the 4-year-olds these days know is just mind-boggling. I absolutely adore it. I'll go in and we do an activity about rainbows. And they have these little diffraction glasses and they can see rainbows. And I ask them, where do rainbows live? Where do you find rainbows? And they all can tell me, in the light. Like, who taught you that?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody. But they know.
But they know.
They know. And so giving them that confidence to know that they know these things. I'm like, you guys are so smart. I love this. Great job.
Yeah. I kind of grimace at rainbows because Katie over here, that's kind of
she
her.
loves rainbows.
Oh, yeah. That's her sign. But again.
As it should be.
Yes.
As it should
They're
be.
bright and cheerful.
And
Absolutely.
former science person.
Unlike Darren.
Yeah, exactly. That's
okay.
right.
I got it. You'll appreciate my favorite rainbow fact, though.
Okay.
There aren't 7 colors.
Oh, there aren't. How many are there?
6.
6.
But when Sir Isaac Newton was doing the he was the one who got to name them, and 7 is a much more satisfying mystical number, and so there is no such thing as indigo.
Wow.
And that's why if you look at
Orgy Biv, huh?
it's just wordy. It doesn't work as well. But if you look at the actual light spectrum, there really isn't a delineation between blue and violet.
Right.
It's our eyes can't see it. Now, other animals, absolutely. Bees can see 3 times the colors that we can. So they definitely have a difference.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's my favorite rainbow fact. Is there's only 6 colors.
How about that?
Learn something new every day.
Every single day, yeah.
I also love the fact that we don't actually know if we're all seeing the same color.
Yeah.
There's no way to measure it.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
That's
that actually is true.
And that's something that scientists have been working on, is trying to figure out how do we measure the immeasurable. That's what really gets me excited, is measuring the immeasurable.
And that question or process will always be there. I mean, it's not one that'll get fulfilled today, tomorrow, or 100 years from now.
Yeah, that's what I love about science. Yeah. There's no absolutes.
Right. So as far as field trips, I noticed, I mean, you guys got obviously these kids that travel long days, right? So
Indeed.
I mean, there are other things that goes into planning that, like lunch, for instance, right?
Yes.
So
We don't have an area that sells food.
Right.
We do have some drinks and some snacks
Sure.
and things like that. But we do still have a very large area that you can eat. Our former snack bar area
Right.
indoors, and then they're always welcome to eat outdoors
Right.
as well. We can accommodate quite a few. Now this week's going to get a little hairy because it's going to rain.
oh yeah,
So we'll probably have some kids, eat inside. But that's
Right.
okay. We try and make sure that it goes as much as possible. Absolutely. And we try and make the field trip planning process as painless as possible.
yeah.
It's all online.
Oh yeah.
Now, if
Okay.
you have any questions, you're more than welcome to call if you have the time, but I certainly never did. So
Right.
you can do the entire planning process online. You can make your reservation. You can ask us any questions. There's no payment required at the time,
Right.
but it'll give you an estimate and a printout of an invoice if you need it.
Okay.
I've been in the troops.
Yeah.
I know how a bad field trip can go.
But that to me, that's a great way of doing that. Get all that taken care of.
Absolutely.
So when you get here, it's time to have fun and
All I need to know
discover
when you arrive is how many you got. And I really hope you know that number.
Yeah. So the original museum, how much has been added on through the years?
That is a great question. So the story of how our museum came to be is really, really fascinating because people are always asked, why is it called Mid-America Science Museum? And actually, the original project was based out of the Smithsonian. They wanted to expand and have a Smithsonian in Washington, D.C.
Right.
They wanted a West Coast version, and they wanted a Mid-America version.
Gotcha.
So we were part of the bidding process, and they were looking at actually officially Little Rock was what got selected. But then this property became available, and that was what it was supposed to be. Unfortunately, by the time all that happened, you know how government goes.
Right.
That wasn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
So it's never been a Smithsonian, although we
Right.
are a Smithsonian affiliate now, which is fantastic. But so it was originally supposed to be kind of like that, a cultural museum, history museum, a collections museum. Then we became, orphaned a little bit.
Right.
So over the years, it's transitioned. I think around the early 90s is when we transitioned to just being Mid-America Science Museum.
Right.
The entire structure itself has not changed much, except we added on an extra building, small building, called our Hall of Wonder, and it's fantastic. That's where we can put our big traveling exhibits.
Right.
So we don't have to remove any of our exhibits
Sure.
off the floor.
Right.
We can also have spaces in there for weddings, or that's where we did a lot of our solar eclipse events, things like that.
Okay.
The rest of the museum had a massive renovation in 2015. That's when they built the big, beautiful skywalk behind me.
Right.
Renovated a whole new cadre of exhibits. Well, that's pretty much it. The rest of it has been here. Our creek, which everybody loves, a lot of people don't realize that's a man-made creek. They made it.
Okay.
In 1978. So now we're to the point that it's sort of an older building and it's sort of an older creek.
Right.
So we're looking into how do we maintain it? How do we
Yeah.
make sure that we're moving forward in a way that we're going to be successful and that we're using our space to the best of its ability, using our funding to the best of its ability to make sure that we can continue into the future.
Yeah, well, no doubt it's a fantastic facility, and I can well imagine. And you may or may not know this, but roughly how many employees here?
Less than you'd think, actually. We usually seem to have around 20 to 30.
Okay.
Depending on,
Yeah.
Our education department varies up and down, but
Several volunteers, though.
Yes, for sure. It varies much more than you think.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell, obviously, when the doors open and you've got kids and families everywhere. It's you're not necessarily looking for employees, I guess, but
we try and be out on the floor as much as possible, though.
Yeah.
And we really want to interact with people.
Sure, and that's what I started to say, but that's the neat thing about that is having those folks there. If questions arise or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And looking into starting conversations.
Right.
So that's a really big thing in the education department. And also with our volunteers is doing inquiry-based learning and doing a lot of training with remembering that we are not here to be lecturers.
Right.
We are not here to be docents.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, docents, that's a new word for me. What?
That's like when you go to an art museum and they give you a tour and they tell you all the stuff,
gotcha.
which is great.
Yeah.
Love it. That is a wonderful thing, but that's not us. What we
Gotcha.
are here to do is to ask you a question
Yeah.
so that you make the discovery.
Yeah, and
that's
encourage you
great.
to get your hands dirty, that kind of thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and get the kids to really touch things.
Right.
And also, really, a lot of my job is getting the parents okay with letting the kids touch things.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
Like, no, they can do that. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, don't climb the dinosaurs, but
Yeah, right. Yeah.
but if you want to try spinning that, do it. That's fine. It's a hands-on place, and that's what also makes us a little different. Most people think of a museum, you're usually picturing like a natural history
Right.
museum with
Right.
dioramas
Yeah.
and things behind glass.
Yeah.
Not here. This is
Right.
a hands-on, touch it, do
Yeah.
it, experience it, except for like the 3 things that you don't touch.
Right.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
hate that that's one of the first things that you see when you come in is one of our wonderful Emmets,
Yeah.
which is great. I love it, but it does say do not touch. I'm like, okay,
Right.
touch everything but that.
But that.
Don't worry about that. Touch everything else.
Yeah. Well, and so with you being here as long as you have, I mean, surely you've watched some evolution of the museum, right?
Oh, big time. Actually, it has changed so much just from when I was first here. We went through a really, really hard time. The museum was being run by the Advertising and Promotion Commission,
Right,
and
yeah.
things changed hands, and it actually closed for
Right.
a pretty significant period of time in 2004, 2005. And the community was like, no, we need this place. This is
Right.
ridiculous. So it became its own independent 501c3
Right.
at that point. It hadn't been before
Yeah.
that. And so I've really gotten to be here and see the rebirth because I got hired in 2008.
Right. Yeah.
So where we are now compared to where we were then is absolutely breathtaking. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, one of the things like our planetarium, for example, that's one of the things that I get to work with a lot. And when I'm working with the company that's teaching me how to do it, because I'm not an astronomer and I'm
Right.
not a computer programmer, but I'm
Right.
trying.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't have this.
Right. Yeah.
This is for a bigger place,
Yeah.
but we get to. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So how big?
Shouldn't have this, but
Yeah.
we do, and it's amazing.
How big is the planetarium?
It seats 52.
Okay.
It has a 33 and a third diameter,
Right.
which that third is important.
Yeah.
When you're trying to line things up.
yeah.
It's
Right.
actually the only one that specific size, and I don't know why. So yeah, we're on 12 acres. We have on average about 1 million guests a year.
Wow.
Like, we have a lot more than you'd think.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
One of my favorite things is traveling and going to different conferences. Like, actually, in a couple weeks, I get to go to the Association of Children's Museums annual conference, which is great. This is our first time to go to that one because I'm really
Right.
trying to embrace we are a children's museum.
Sure.
We should do more for
Right.
early education. So I'm trying to learn more about
Yeah.
it. But seeing the different sizes of museums and what different places are able to do,
Right.
Right.
it's just phenomenal. And every time I come home, I look around and go, my goodness, how did we get this?
Yeah.
How did we get this?
Yeah.
Very
lucky to have
thankful,
this?
huh?
So thankful. It's quite really high quality, which
Right.
we're very lucky to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So let's step away from professional. So when you're not here nerding out at the museum, what do you like to do?
I'm at home nerding out.
Okay.
Usually reading, watching documentaries,
Right.
sewing,
Yeah.
knitting,
Okay.
embroidering.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm an 85-year-old woman.
So you said earlier you have
so.
kids. How old are they?
I do. Actually, I have 2 stepsons.
Oh,
which is
okay.
really fun. I
Right.
did not have kids before.
Right.
They've been in my life for about 2.5 years now.
Okay.
They are
Good for
11
you.
and
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I know. I left 5th grade and got 5th graders. I don't know how that happened.
Jump right into teenage, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Teenage years, yeah.
And they are the biggest nerds.
Yeah.
I love my geek boys.
Yeah.
I love my geek boys. We got an ADHD one. We got a on the spectrum one.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure they probably get to enjoy some time here.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I sealed the deal with the very first time they met me was they came here
Yeah.
with their dad. I'm like,
Right.
obviously I'm the cool stepmom now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, no, my home life is a lot like here, actually.
I got you. I
We're
got
doing
you.
a lot of experiments and weird
Yeah.
stuff at home.
So when you travel travel? Do you like checking off other museums or?
Let me put it to you this way. For our honeymoon, when we got married about 6 months ago, I specifically requested that I wanted to go to the Georgia Aquarium.
Oh, wow.
Because I've driven past it so many times and never gotten to go, and they have whale sharks.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
I plan my vacations around what museums I want to see, what zoos I want to see.
Right.
My birthday, we're going to go up to Turpentine Creek because I want to go see the tigers.
Right.
Like,
Gotcha.
when I say museums and science and animals are my life, I am not kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, that's
I
awesome.
have a list of all the
Okay.
places that I
think
want to go.
aquariums are super cool.
Yeah.
Aquariums are the best.
They really
Yeah.
are neat.
And if you have not been to the Georgia Aquarium, let me tell you, oh my God.
Where is it at?
That's in Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
I cried so many times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I turned into a very excited 6-year-old.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
So musically, what are you into? If we got in your car, playlist was cranking, what do you got?
So my students, in inner city Hot Springs, they would ask me that a lot
Right.
too. They're like, "What do you listen to?" I'm like, "Pale people music." They're like,
Yeah.
"What is that?" Bluegrass and Celtic and classical.
I got you.
So I would play it for them, and they'd go,
Yeah.
"This is weird."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Nothing wrong
pale
with that.
people music.
I like a little bluegrass for sure. Classical, every now and again.
love-
I'm not
Classical.
I don't know if I could do
I
classical.
told you, I am an 85-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Well, just
Give
an
me
old
some
soul. Just have an old
Mozart,
soul.
Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Lindsey Sterling, that's my jam.
So I heard on the way before I got here today, speaking of that kind of stuff, number one most viral video according to YouTube. What would you think?
Oh, something to do with cats playing a piano, I'm going with.
Close, maybe, kind of. Any ideas?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
No, we're talking about
Teens.
YouTube ever.
Oh, YouTube ever. I mean,
YouTube
not Charlie
ever.
Bit My Finger, because
Nope, not that one.
that's a classic.
I don't know.
Baby Shark, that was the one.
Oh,
So
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Just
so,
from all the replay
yeah,
value.
I guess. Well, yeah, because they said there were actually. I mean, I forget how many more views than there are people, in the world or whatever.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I
that's
gotta
crazy.
say though, that was a good way to get a whole classroom full of 5th graders to calm down.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
okay, if y'all get quiet, we can do the Baby Shark dance.
yeah.
Oh wow.
And they did.
Wow.
Or the Little Einstein remix.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
that was something.
Wow.
Bring in the music, huh?
I pretty much was just like this weird alien that landed in the middle of my life. We would watch I Am Miss Frizzle
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah.
That is who I aspire
Well,
to.
middle school needs a Miss Frizzle every now and again,
Absolutely.
you
Well,
know.
I made them all sing it.
Yeah,
Like,
gotcha.
no, if we're gonna watch it, I put the lyrics up on the
Yeah.
screen. I made them sing along.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, they liked
That's
it.
good. Yeah.
They
So,
won't
so what's the best piece of advice, bar none, you've ever gotten your entire life?
Do it because you're scared.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, I like
yeah.
that.
I'm a highly anxious individual, so that was.
I like that.
Yeah.
If you're scared to do it, that means you need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Push yourself
like
a little
that.
bit. Yeah.
That usually means it's something I need to do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that a lot because I mean, so many times you get to the edge and you're like, not for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and all the best things that I've ever done,
yeah,
I did when I was absolutely terrified.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It comes into that, don't fear failure.
That's right.
Learn
No,
from it.
for sure.
Learn,
Yeah.
learn from that.
And because you don't know what life is going to throw at you.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
only did I teach for 4 years, but
Right.
I lost my husband my 3rd year of teaching.
Oh wow. Yeah.
my
1 month before
goodness.
school began.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You don't know what life's going to throw at you.
Exactly.
But those kids,
Yeah.
I bonded with
Yeah.
the most because I had to tell them. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was still like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
it
Oh,
was in
yeah.
July.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
those are my babies.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
my babies. And the best part is teaching locally. I still get to see them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them come and volunteer, which has been great.
Yeah.
I'm in Leadership Hot Springs with a few of them.
Oh okay.
So
Yeah.
Neat.
we formed a lasting friendship,
Yeah.
which I think is
Yeah.
beautiful. And I hope more teachers have the opportunity to do that with at least some of their students.
Right.
Is form that.
And they see that you. They probably
Yeah.
saw you in a lot. I mean, you're a real person, and
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
happening.
Yeah.
I did also have a few other students that lost somebody close to them
Yeah.
Yeah.
at that point, and we had a Dead People's Club at lunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And it was important. It was
yeah,
good for them.
I still
Got them-
say,
I mean,
in a lot
got
of
them
ways,
through
it
it, but-
humanizes things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had one of my students who said, I'm just so glad I have someone I can talk to about my dead father.
Right. Oh, well, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you can talk to me about
Yeah.
him too, honey. That's
Right.
great.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, not to make light of that situation, but even like, when you're seen in Walmart by one of your students and they're like, oh, you're not at school
Why are you
24/7? Yeah.
You don't live at school?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't live at school.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, we appreciate you having us out today, but before we get out of here, we'll give you an opportunity to go ahead and I mean, push what you want to for upcoming events this summer, whatever you want to do.
Oh, yeah. So absolutely make sure you come this summer. You don't want to miss Hall of Heroes. I do believe we have a replica of the 1960s Batmobile.
Oh, wow.
That's been the big talk that everyone's excited about, so
Yeah.
you definitely want to come see that. And then
Right.
during the school year, please visit our website and check out all the cool stuff that we have available.
Right.
And if you're a superintendent that's interested in finding out more, like we have this great program that
Right.
we do with Hot Springs School District called a school membership.
Okay.
So they pay one flat rate that is half price of our normal group rate
Oh, wow.
per student. And they went ahead and
Okay.
paid for everybody K through 6.
Yeah.
And then they can come on as many field trips as they want throughout
Wow.
the year.
Oh, yeah,
so I got to
that's
say,
good deal.
Hot Springs has 4 magnet schools, and
Yeah.
every one of their magnet schools, every single grade has been here at least once.
Right.
I think a
Great.
couple of grades have actually been here more than once.
Yeah.
Right.
So it is such a money-saving
Yeah,
opportunity.
That's a good.
Yeah.
And they're able to add on extras.
Yeah.
So
And like you're
Yeah.
saying, I think depending on what they are studying, I mean,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
We've had kids come just for, we're going to look in the Arkansas Gallery because that's what we're
Right.
studying right now.
right.
So that's a big program that I'd really love to see some more
Right.
school districts get excited about.
Sure.
I want to make it more accessible.
Right.
I want you to come, and whatever we can do to help relieve any barriers you
Right.
have at all
Yeah.
to any of our programming, please let us know.
Sure.
So we want to
Right.
work with you for sure.
Right. Well, yeah, and yeah, that's a fantastic deal, and like I say, as far as this summer, what do your hours look like?
Yeah, so we're open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 5, and then on Sundays from 1 to 5.
Okay.
All right. Well, we certainly do, Casey. Appreciate you giving us the
Yes.
opportunity to come out
Thank
and
you. I had a great
and
time.
visit. Yeah,
Yes,
and
nice to
lots of
meet
great
you.
things going on, and it's good to make this connection because a lot of times, within our schools,
Absolutely.
somebody may reach out to us and say, "Hey, can you,
Yeah.
or do you know somebody that does X?" So now,
Well, I
Right.
try and come down and talk to Annette and Susan a lot because I also
good.
want to be helpful in the professional development
right?
world
Oh, yes.
as well.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's
Good.
call on me.
Okay,
I would
okay.
love to help.
right.
That's
right.
awesome.
Well, again, thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoyed
you.
it.
It's
Enjoyed
been
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll wrap it up for this edition of Spilling the Tea in Studio D from Mid-America Science Museum
Thank you.
in beautiful Hot Springs, Arkansas. So until next time, we will see you then.